Ravens flock. The flock rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. So I'm telling you now, it's about to go down. The podcast, the flock rundown. Ravens, baby. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
Appreciate you, Ray. What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of the Flock Rundown. The Ravens just beat the Titans 24-16 in London. Before we get into the post-game thoughts, shout out to DeBear7120 for winning the giveaway. He guessed 66 yards for Bateman and Odell combined, and unfortunately they got 49 yards. Odell didn't even play much after the first quarter, it seemed like, and their involvement in this offense seems to be a small one, but we'll get into all that later. But yeah, shout out to DeBear. I hit you up and replied to your YouTube comment, so just hit me back. And yeah, let's get into the game. So this is a game of two halves. The first half, we were up 18-3. We looked pretty good. I would say the only complaint would be that we weren't converting in the red zone, which continued the entire game, but 18-3, defense was balling. We were shutting down the Titans' run game. The offense was getting there. Zay Flowers scored his first touchdown. Lamar looked good. He was spreading the ball out to everybody. I thought the Ravens played an incredible first half. And then the second half starts, and I think both teams go 3 and out. But then the Titans get the ball back, and we get an absolute BS roughing the passer call on Michael Pierce for putting his body weight on the quarterback. I hate that new can't put your body weight on the quarterback rule. This is football. I mean, take away the helmet to helmets and stuff like that. I get it. But body weight on the quarterback when you're getting sacked legally, it's just he fell too hard on him. I mean, that's such a soft rule. I hope they adjust that at some point. They probably won't because they want to protect the quarterbacks. But that was a BS call. But anyways, we hold them to 3. Our defense was playing out of their minds all day, honestly, besides like a few plays here and there. Obviously, that Wildcat run, and then later in the game, there was a Spears screen at the very end of the game. But other than that, I mean, the defense absolutely balled out. But right after that, Lamar throws a really high ball, and Bateman doesn't go up for it, and it's intercepted. Now, a lot of people are frying Bateman again for that. And yeah, should he have tried to jump? Yeah, I agree, but he wasn't catching that ball. I don't even know if he would have touched the ball. I think he should have tried to jump, but the blame on that play is definitely Lamar. He skied that ball. So interception right after the Titans get a field goal and have that crazy drive that should have never even happened anyway. And then Kyle Hamilton gets ejected for a helmet-to-helmet. Now, I'm not arguing the helmet-to-helmet at all. It's definitely a helmet-to-helmet. It was definitely a penalty. I think the Titans may have scored there regardless, but they ejected Kyle Hamilton. Now, the rulebook states that for an ejection to happen, the player has to purposefully be trying to injure the opponent. And, I mean, you could watch the highlight a million times. I don't see Kyle Hamilton trying to purposefully injure him. I see him trying to make a play on the ball and knock the ball out. It's definitely a helmet-to-helmet. We're not arguing the 15-yard penalty, but the ejection is crazy. So Geno comes in. We move Brandon Stevens to safety. So then Marlon Humphrey, Rocky Ya-Sin on the outside, Arthur Mullet in the slot, Geno Stone and Brandon Stevens at safety since we lost Marcus and Kyle Hamilton got ejected. But they all played great. Mullet had some holding and pass interference penalties at the very end of the game. But overall, I mean, the defense played out of their minds. Really happy with the pass rush. 6 sacks today. Jadeveon Clowney, 2 sacks. Matabike, 2 sacks. Van Noy got a sack. Patrick Queen got a sack. The Titans' pass game was atrocious and never got going. I don't even think Tannehill had 70 yards. And then Malik Willis, the only play that he had is that screen to Spears at the very end of the game that busted for like 50, 60 yards. But other than that, I mean, they just weren't getting anything downfield. And shout out to the Ravens defense who continues to just ball and show up week after week. And I'm happy with a win. Don't get me wrong. I'm really happy with the win, especially after that terrible loss last week. But this offense still scares me a little bit. They're very inconsistent. The first half, it looked like we could get anything we wanted. The second half, for a while, we were really struggling. The run game honestly struggled the entire day. Outside of Lamar busting some runs and making some things happen, he was definitely taking over in the run game more in the second half. But Gus Edwards can never get going. Justice Hill can never get going. Our run blocking from our offensive line was not good at all. And credit to the Titans' defensive front. They got some studs up there, and they really disrupted our run game. I mean, we weren't able to run well at all. And then our pass game stalled for a while at the start of that second half. There was just drive after drive where we couldn't get anything going. And then the red zone was awful. I mean, I think we had the ball twice on like the 2-yard line, and we didn't come away with a touchdown. I mean, that's concerning, you know, and I guess that plays into not being able to run the ball, because if you're on the 2-yard line, you should be able to pound it right down the middle and get a touchdown. I didn't love some of the play calling down in the red zone, but also just the execution, just the ability to block. I mean, we should be able to pound the ball in for 2 yards, you know? We're a running team. So I thought, but it didn't seem like it. And we had 6 field goals, which shout out to Justin Tucker and shout out to John Harbaugh for deciding to kick those field goals too. And that hasn't been a common theme all year. So I'm happy that we actually took the points, especially in a game like this where Tennessee's offense doesn't pose a potent threat to us. I'm happy that we took the points, but 6 field goals. I think at least 2, at the minimum, 2 of those drives should have been touchdowns. We were on the 2-yard line. You have to come away with touchdowns on those drives. But a win's a win. I am happy about it. There's a lot of things to look forward to moving forward. I thought our offensive line and pass protection did pretty well. I thought that Zay Flowers shined again. Mark Andrews continues to be Mark Andrews. Lamar played pretty well outside of that interception. He had a couple bad throws, but I thought that he took over a little bit on the ground in the second half when the pass game wasn't working. Lamar started to just take off. He had a huge third down conversion in the red zone. I know it didn't lead to a touchdown, but if we convert 2 of those red zone opportunities, we score 30-plus points in this game, and it's never even close. So I think our offense is right there. I still am earning for some Rashad Bateman and Odell involvement, and I thought this may be the game, especially early, right? Odell caught that huge pass coming across the middle that he took for like 30-plus yards. I mean, he looked explosive. He looked good, and then we barely saw Odell. I don't know if he's on a pitch count or what, but he's not out there a lot of the time. Zay Flowers is out there a lot. Nelson Aguilar's out there a lot. We're seeing some Duvernay, but he's not involved at all. Shout out to Duvernay on the punt return, though. He did have a big punt return. I think it's like 60, 70-yard punt return that got us into the red zone. So that was a big moment in the game, too, especially early. But this offense is going to have to score in the red zone, and we've been pretty good all season in the red zone. You know, I'm not saying that this is the common theme, but it seems like every week the offense does kind of fall apart in a department. It's like we just can't put it all together. You know, Bateman and Odell just clearly aren't themselves, at least from a production standpoint. You know, they're not realizing their potential from a production standpoint. So whether it's them still a little banged up or their comfortability in this offense or their connection with Lamar, whatever it may be, that's got to get worked out because we need those weapons. You know, we don't have enough weapons outside of them besides Zay and Mark. And Aguilar, too. I mean, Aguilar's solid, but Odell and Bateman can be special. You know, they can really, really produce in this offense. And week after week after week, we're not seeing it. And obviously, there's always things to complain about, but a lot went right. I think we got a superstar in Zay Flowers. We finally hit on a receiver for sure. We did not miss on Zay Flowers. And I'm feeling good about where this offense can go. And I feel amazing about where this defense is already at. There's not a lot of reason to be worried that we can't compete with top-level teams moving forward. But let me know your thoughts about the game today. What did you like from the game? What did you not like about the game? What do you think about this team moving forward? Are you feeling good and optimistic about where we can go? Or are you concerned and the inconsistency scares you to death? I do have concerns, but overall, I'm feeling optimistic. Now, that could just be me. I move through life pretty optimistic. I think about the positive side of things most of the time. I feel like filling your head with negativity just spirals the negativity. You know, when you're positive, you feel a lot better. So I'm still optimistic about where this team can go, but I also acknowledge and realize the concerns. But I'm interested to see what you guys think. And as always, I appreciate you tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Go enjoy your Sunday. We got to win. Should be feeling good. Have a beautiful rest of your day, guys, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.